What's up, YouTube? What's going on? So I got asked to rank the Chicago Bulls, Dallas Cowboys, New York Yankees, the teams that won multiple championships in different sports in the 90s, the main three sports, from popularity, love, hate, etc. Rank them, and then popularity with the fans. Well, number one is going to clearly be the Chicago Bulls. Let's not even kid ourselves. Michael Jordan by himself, he was like Michael Jackson, and it was like the Jackson 5. I mean, who are we kidding? He was that kind of persona. They were that team of the decade. They were dominant. They won the most games, and they were rock stars. And everybody, the first incarnation with the first three-peat with Jordan, Pippen, and Horace Grant. And he came back with the second three-peat with Jordan, Pippen, and Dennis Rodman. Phil Jackson was the coach on all of it. 6 trips, 8 years, won chips, dominance, clutch shots, memorable moments. And he was just floating on air to most. The logo, the whole nine. It really, unless of course, now there were people who didn't like them. I wasn't the biggest Bulls fan, but I had to respect the fact that they was dominant. He beat everybody and was taking names and was doing it in a big way. So that's kind of not really, because there wasn't any NBA teams aside from the Rockets and the Pistons. And the Pistons the only one that was the villain that you kind of, or the Knicks to an extent, but it was just basically, and it was extremely popular, extremely just going in a whole direction where it's just like so speaks for itself. Now we get to the battle for second is interesting. The New York Yankees or the Dallas Cowboys. That's the real story. The Yankees had a great run, starting '96. Joe Torre, Derek Jeter. Jeter became the face of that dynasty. You know, incredible. Andy Petty was part of that. Great run. They won. Uh, Primarily, they won their main jury in the latter part of the '90s. They did get that ring in the Subway Series in 2000, and of course in the series against the Phillies in '09. But they did most of their damage in the '90s, and including that record-breaking year of '98. So they were an incredible story. Mariano Rivera. Do I think they captured it quite the same as the Bull? It was good. It was high up there. It was high up there because it's the Yankees. Jeter and Rivera, two of the all-time greatest ever, and they're in Yankee lore. So, but I don't think that it was necessarily a team of all stars like you usually associate with the Yankees. I just don't quite. And then Jeter did represent the Jordan brand with the shoes, so but not quite like you're sitting there going, oh, the end all be all, but pretty big time, pretty big time. Then we get to the Dallas Cowboys, who won 3 championships, went to 4 NFC championship games, the triplets, Aikman, Emmett, and Irvin. Emmett Smith, all-time leading rusher. Troy Aikman was a very good quarterback. Michael Irvin had a great career. Defense. Jimmy Johnson era, what they won the 2, but he got fired. Then Barry Switzer came and got 1. I think if Jimmy Johnson stays and they win a ring or 2 more, I think they'd be higher. They brought Deion Sanders in for the second one with the Barry Switzer, which was big. I do believe that if Jimmy Johnson stays, and then you have a Deion come in later, I think that with another ring, with that original, I think they get more respect. I think they took a hit with the Jimmy Johnson fiasco. I really do. And I also think that Deion was like as big as Michael Irvin was as a personality, Emmett had great yards and everything. Deion was the one that brought that star power. Jerry Jones wanted to be the star power. He was like Jerry Reinsdorf and George Steinbrenner, so you had that aspect. But if I was ranking the bigger teams of the '90s on popularity and all that, I'd say the Bulls were 1, and I'd say for number 2, because I hate to give it a tie, I gotta say I gotta give it to the Yankees. It's close. And the reason why the Cowboys don't get it is because Jimmy Johnson got ran out, and Barry Switzer did not carry that kind of sway, and Dion didn't come there late, and that was the swag pack. But I gotta say that's the one. So if I'm ranking the teams in the '90s, that's the order: Bulls first, New York Yankees, and Dallas Cowboys. So you let me know what you think, how you rank them. But you know the Bulls gonna have number one slot though. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for nothing. Share if you like. Hit that membership. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Stay woke. I'm out.